live on Sirius XM channel 127, 6 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. So we got to talk cancel culture. The GOP cancel culture is off the charts. Let's be clear. The GOP is all about projection. They are the kings and queens of canceling culture. In fact, we're watching breaking news minutes ago. MAGA cancel culture on display. It's the use of violence. It is fascism. Once again, we've warned you over and over. This is not a joke. It's not a test. The GOP is using violence to retain and acquire power. We just learned the House of Representatives has canceled their session for tomorrow because officials say that Trump supporters are descending on the Capitol because in the QAnon and conspiracy worlds, March 4th, which is tomorrow, and it's the old day presidents used to get inaugurated, is the day Donald Trump will be inaugurated as president again. So again, here we are. This is MAGA cancel culture. They are using violence to cancel our Congress. The GOP is all about cancel culture. Look what they did in January. They tried to cancel 81 million of us who voted for Joe Biden. Literally, the GOP tried to cancel 81 million of us who dared vote for Joe Biden. Now they want to cancel your right to vote in state after state after state. The GOP is all about cancel culture. They're trying to cancel COVID relief, cancel your right to vote, cancel 81 million of us, our vote and our voice, trying to eliminate it, extinguish it, and now they just canceled Congress. And are you going to hear Republicans denounce this violence in one loud voice? No. You might hear a few, but let's be honest. They need QAnon. They need the white supremacists. They need the military, the militants, because without them, the GOP's base is too small. And people say, well, the GOP's base is getting smaller. It is potentially, but it's getting more and more intense. It's becoming more dangerous. They're giving up on democracy. And we're seeing this right now with, in over 40 states, Republicans have introduced legislation to cancel your voting rights, to cancel early voting days, cancel mail-in ballots, cancel ease of voter registration, canceling democracy. That's what they're doing right in front of us. They're whining about Dr. Seuss books we had nothing to do with. They're literally canceling our democracy in front of our eyes. Just yesterday, there was an argument before the Supreme Court about 2 Arizona laws already enacted that are suppressing the vote. And the Republican lawyer was asked, why do you need these laws? And he literally said, because without them, we don't win elections. There's no surprise here. Look what's going on. In Georgia, they just passed legislation earlier this week in the one chamber of the state legislature, is going to the other to get rid of early voting days. This is early in-person voting days. Why? And on the weekends. Why on the weekend? Because on Sundays, during election cycle, the Democrats did souls to the polls, where people from the black church would go to church and then go vote. But Republicans don't want black people to vote. So they're getting rid of that. They literally are getting rid of weekend voting, and there's no other reason because Democrats are calling it out. You're doing this to suppress the black vote. Absolutely. They're not even pretending that's not the case. They're getting rid of early voting days in counties that are bigger because there's passed a state law making it to contract early voting days. So in bigger counties like Fulton County, where there's a big African-American population, they want to make it harder to vote. It's not the end of it. Arizona, they have numerous laws they've introduced, including one requiring if you want to do a mail-in ballot, you have to get it notarized. Well, guess what? Unless you have a bank that you have a good relationship with, you got to pay a fee to get something notarized. You might have gone through that in your life. You have to go there. It costs you time. You might have to go to a lawyer office or go to a bank where they charge you $10, $20, depending on your account, meaning they're implementing a poll tax in Arizona if this passes. They also literally have a bill in the Arizona legislature to allow the Secretary of State, the legislature, to literally just throw the election out and assign the electoral votes to whoever you want. That is called canceling democracy. They are canceling democracy. This is not a joke. They're doing the same thing in Pennsylvania. They're doing it wherever they can. I've said now for the last few months, the GOP is no longer a political party. It is a budding fascist movement. And by that, authoritarian is one thing. That's what they've been. Authoritarian is essentially using undemocratic means to acquire or retain power. The GOP became academically a fascist movement when they began to embrace violence. We saw that on January 6th. We're seeing it now. Where are the Republicans announcing the white supremacist terrorist attack by name? The Proud Boys. Have you heard Republicans announce the Proud Boys by name in one voice? No. Have you heard them denounce QAnon by name? No, they're actually in Congress, QAnon people. Have you heard them denounce the militias by name? No, they want them. They're supporting fascism. The GOP, this is their last, I'm going to make a bold prediction here. If these voter suppression laws get enacted and the GOP still loses, they will go all out with violence. I'm not kidding. They won't even have to direct it. They will just tell their base, like Mike Pence did today in an op-ed, literally Mike Pence furthering the big lie that sent Trump supporters to kill the man. And today in an op-ed, Mike Pence validated those lies. And in the language he used in the op-ed about leftists want to destroy our country, dehumanizing language. And again, it is simply to make us not human, so if they attack us or worse, kill us, they won't feel like they're doing anything wrong. They're doing it in the name of democracy, when ironically enough, they are literally destroying what democracy is, because there's no debate what democracy is. We're a constitutional republic defined by a democracy. Democracy is you have a right to vote. We want to make it easier to vote. That's why they're voting on For the People Act, H.R. 1 today, which is a remarkable piece of legislation. And while when it gets to the Senate, I don't know if it's going to pass or maybe there's some compromise, it is a great start. It deals with having first voter integrity, more funding for that, which we all want. So there's paper ballots everywhere. Paper receipts for ballots, so you can do recounts easy. Also gerrymandering reform, donation reform, so dark money, which is just essentially money thrown by corporations and big people with big money that are not tracked, that you have to report more of this. The list goes on of things, mandatory early voting days. It's all great stuff. If you believe in democracy, you believe in H.R. 1. That's why the GOP opposes it. So I'll talk about that more in detail on the show, but just because Donald Trump's out of office, the threat to our democracy remains, I think, even more acute than ever, as the GOP uses the big lie of Donald Trump, weaponizes it to try to destroy and cancel our democracy. When you think cancel culture, think the GOP. They invented it, and now they're imposing it on our democracy. Again, my show's live, 6 to 9 p.m. Tune in. In fact, if you don't subscribe to Sirius XM, just go to the website. They're free trials. Sign up, be a part of our show. Call in, be a part of our family. We have a lot of work to do. If you want progress, stay active. No better place than being a part of the family on our show. Thanks for tuning in.